Everyone, welcome back to Tinateach Python. Today is a new day, a new lesson. We'll be taking a look at nested dictionary. This is the last lesson that we're going to take in when it comes to dictionary. Okay, so we've learned a lot with dictionary. We've learned how to create them, how to access their items, how to loop through them. Now, for the last part is learning about nested dictionary. And as you know, anything that's nested is within of something. So it's a dictionary inside of a dictionary. And this would help when you want a dictionary that contains different categories and different varieties of data, okay? So it's not as restrictive as the other data types that you've seen previously. Now, what will you be looking at specifically in this lesson? Sorry, I had a little bit of a typo. And so we're looking at the definition of nested dictionary, right? So you can see the syntax and sort of gauge what it's used for, accessing items, looping nested dictionary, okay? So we're looking at the syntax, how to get its item. We'll be looking at the syntax, how to access nested dictionary items, and then how we can loop through nested items, okay? So let's take a further look. First off is the definition or the syntax, right? Nested. A dictionary can contain dictionaries. It doesn't have to be one within one. For example, this is a dictionary within a dictionary. Now, I could have created more dictionaries within one dictionary, but I kind of ran out of space. So we have coffee here. So this is a dictionary that's nested within menu, another dictionary. Now, to be exact, I have two dictionaries nestled inside of menu. Okay, so first off, I have coffee, the type is decaf, and the size is grande. For the second dictionary, I have tea, and the type is green tea. Okay, so that is the bare minimum. That's the bone of what you're working with if you want to include nested dictionary in your file. Now, let's move on to new dictionary, specifically creating two dictionaries and then one dictionary that contain the other two. So instead of having this little syntax over here, which can get, quite confusing when you're just first looking at it, you can go for the easier route of creating different dictionaries. So as you can see, the coffee syntax is just your typical creating a new dictionary syntax. When you look at it, you know what it is. Coffee, type decaf, size grande, and the same goes with tea, with type green tea, and I add in size medium. Okay, now how do you create one dictionary that contains both of these things, coffee and tea? Simply just create another dictionary. Here I have its name ordered, and then the same syntax, coffee equals coffee and tea equals tea. So it's the same syntax that you see, just copy and paste it, okay? While this method may seem a little bit more neat, syntax is not as repetitive as this one, but you can choose whichever, okay? It goes both ways, same thing. Now let's move on to assessing items. And we start with the name of the outermost dictionary, so the container of the nestled dictionaries. So I have the same thing with coffee, tea, and order. I'm using the second type of syntax, which is a little bit repetitive, but it's easier to see. And I print order, so the container, right? The outermost dictionary, then preceded by the dictionary that I want to target, and then it's key, okay? So it goes outermost and the one that you want to target, and then it's key or value. Okay, now that we've dealt with that, let's move on to looping using the items method. It's more convenient because the keys method only target the key, and the values method only target the values. Okay, I've talked about this in previous lesson. You can check them out if you want to learn more about dictionary methods. So let's move on. I have coffee, tea, and order, the same thing that you see on previous slides. And so I'm using a for loop, okay, our Kudo for loop. For x, once again, x and obj or object are just placeholders, and you can use different names for these things to make it more clear, to make it more concise. which I'll be demonstrating to you in a bit. So let's continue. Obj or object in order dot items, no argument here. Print x, and then for y in object, print y plus, this little thing, this little string object with the index y. Okay, so what would this look like? Well, I'm just going to move to the demonstration and you can figure it out for yourself. So let's create our first dictionary. Menu equals to coffee, right? Coffee, sometimes I forget the double quote, sorry. Coffee and type decaf. Okay, same thing that we see here. Don't forget the comma. If you don't have the comma where it needs to be, it'll going to return you a bunch of errors. Size, and size is grande. Okay, let's move down here and let's have T type. Okay, oops, I forgot the little comma over here. As you can see, it makes everything like, it looks like error. Type is green tea, and then the size is medium. Okay, now we're done with menu. Let's try printing some things out. Print menu. Then I'm going to print out coffee, and now I'm going to put a comma over here just so we can see the difference with and without comma. And then I'm going to print out tea. Now go down here, print menu, coffee, and then tea. Oops, tea. Now this time I'm going to target a key of the coffee dictionary. Print menu coffee, no comma, and I'm going to go for the type. Okay, type, and let's copy and paste and do the same thing with tea because I want to see what it looks like. Tea. Make this size. All right, now let's go down here. Let's move on with another dictionary. Pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie slices is 5. We're going for the second method of having nestled dictionaries. Topping is whipped cream. Okay, topping is whipped cream. Then apple pie. Apple pie slices is, let's make it 7. And then the topping is, fresh apples. All right, fresh apple slices. Okay, now that's it for pumpkin pie and apple pie. I'm going to be having another dictionary. Now this one is going to encompass pumpkin pie and apple pie. I'm going to name it order. And let's have, pumpkin pie equals to pumpkin pie, and then apple pie equals to apple pie. Okay, I'm just going to scroll down so you can see it better. Let's move down here. Print order pumpkin pie. Okay, pumpkin pie. And then I want to see what slices will return. All right, and we're going to do the same thing with apple pie. Apple pie. Then I want to get the topping key. Now let's move on with looping for result. No, for pie name. Okay, result is a bit too vague. Pie in order dot items. Down here, print pie name. And then let's go down here for properties. Yeah, properties in pie. Print properties plus this 2 and comma pie, and then put in properties. Okay, Control S to save. Okay, up here as you can see, first off we print out the coffee and tea just fine, no problem, but we did not print, as you can see, the keys and values of tea. We just did it for coffee and then just tea. Okay, because you're supposed to put menu in front of tea over here, and then it would print this whole thing. Now, next up, it says here key error T. So Python without the comma really does think that T is a key within the coffee dictionary, but that is not the case. So that's why it returns an error, because there's no such key. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in menu over here, and then I'm just going to get rid of this T, Ctrl S to save, and then let's try again. Okay, as you can see, it prints out menu, coffee, right? All of the coffee properties you see here, keys and values, and it did the same thing with tea. Now, coffee, we already know it's already printed up here. Next up, coffee type. So coffee type is a decaf up here, and it returns decaf. Tea size is medium, and return medium. Now let's go down here with our pies. Now, pumpkin pie slices from the order dictionary is 5, and the topping from apple pie in order is fresh apple slices, just like what I put in up here. Okay, now let's move on to the loop part. Now, for pie name, print pie name, we have pie name here, pumpkin pie. For properties in pie, print properties plus this little string, and then the properties. We have slices, topping, whipped cream, and the same goes with apple pie. Now, you can certainly change the string. So I'm going to make it something nice. I'm just going to print that out and see how it works. See, it replaces the string that we've seen previously, and it replaces with a heart. Okay, so that's it for dictionaries and demonstration. That's it for our last lesson when it comes to dictionary. I hope that you learned something new. I myself do enjoy making these lessons. And our next topic that we're going to be tackling is the if and else, the classic if and else that you can see in a lot of languages like JavaScript, C, and whatnot. And we're going to dive into it in Python. Okay, they're very convenient and they're very universal and extremely common. So I do hope that you'll tune into that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Learn today, better tomorrow. Goodbye.